Grandia was first released on the Sega Saturn in 1997 and became a big hit in Japan. However, at that time it wasn't on the radar of North American gamers who were caught up in the Final Fantasy VII craze. But when it did come to North America in late 1999, many fans gave it praise, but it still flew under the radar. Grandia was created by Game Arts, the same small developer that created the Lunar games, and some similarities are immediately apparent between the two. For example, both series use more of a lighthearted approach, and brighter colors compared to darker games like Suikoden 2 or Xenogears. Working Designs expressed interest in publishing it, much like they did the Lunar games, but they are unable to acquire the rights, so Sony published it instead. The way combat plays out in Grandia is distinct, at least compared to many other RPGs. It uses a turn-based active time system that rewards attention to detail in a unique way. The action bar in the lower right corner dictates the next character to act, and you choose your action from a ring menu when the character icon gets to the halfway point. Paying attention to this meter also allows you to target enemies whose turns are coming up, because you have a chance of pushing their turn back. This action cancel system of sorts is really innovative and absolutely makes Grandia's combat stand out from many other titles of the era. It really was a mechanic that fixed the issue of repetitive battles that plague so many other RPGs. Quite impressive if you ask me. In addition to leveling up like in typical RPGs, you also upgrade individual skills like weapons and magic spells through continuous use. As a result, grinding in Grandia means pushing your power level higher relative to other games, and you can really overpower enemies quickly. On the other hand, it also allows you a multi-dimensional way to advance beyond the standard, tried-and-true leveling system offered by virtually all other games. Unlike games where you gain new magic spells upon level up, Grandia allows you to learn new magic when you find mana eggs throughout the world. At first, you can only learn fire, wind, water, or earth by turning them into stores throughout the adventure. When you acquire 2 or more types of magic for a character though, and get the prerequisite magic skill level, you can learn hybrid magic: lightning, blizzard, forest, and explosion. This system definitely makes learning spells in Grandia different than many games and incentivizes exploration, but some of the mana eggs can be easily missed and there's only 18 in the game. The main character, Justin, is a young boy from the village of Parm who craves adventure. The story takes place in a world where technological advancements bring about a steam revolution. At the beginning of the game, Justin travels with his childhood friend Sue to a nearby dig site, where they stumble upon an ancient secret that sets them on a journey across the world. Along the way, you are hindered by General Bale, Supreme Commander of the Garlisle forces. Bale seeks to complete the Spirit Stone and resurrect Gaia, the mystical entity behind the fall of the ancient civilization of Angela. Throughout your adventure, you recruit a total of 8 permanent characters, and character development is a primary focus of this game. Grandia's lighthearted approach also embraces more humor than you can find in many other RPGs from this time, and it's definitely cheerier and more upbeat than most of its counterparts. In this way, it's basically the antithesis of darker games like Final Fantasy Tactics. As far as how the game is presented, it uses a polygonal world, but the characters are 2D sprites. You can pan the camera around, and enemies appear in the dungeons and outdoor areas so they can be avoided. Visually, Grandia looks similar to Xenogears, and it really works well. Grandia's soundtrack gets a lot of praise, and rightly so. It was created by Noriyuki Iwadare, who also created the score for the Lunar games, Langrisser games, and many others. The score emphasizes both classical and jazz influences, and there are a lot of tracks that stand out. For me, the main theme song is definitely the most memorable. It fills me with nostalgia that brings me right back to when I first played it in 1999. It's filled with other great tunes too, and its full suite of 68 songs stands as one of the title's best aspects. Many fans think it was Iwadare's best career work, so it's definitely gotten its fair share of praise. Grandia is a pretty long RPG, and can take over 50 hours to complete in your first run. The difficulty level is also a bit low. Normal battles are quite easy, but some of the boss battles actually can pose a challenge. There are 3 bonus dungeons at your disposal for an additional challenge though, and this was a welcome addition that kept fans playing beyond the main storyline. Like Lunar Eternal Blue, Grandia also has a playable epilogue you can experience to tie up all the loose ends of the story. It takes place 10 years after the end of the game and is pretty darn short, but it's still a nice touch. I wish more RPGs did this. Grandia and its sequel, Grandia 2, was remastered and re-released as part of a package for Steam in 2019 called Grandia HD Remaster. To the surprise of many, it also came with the addition of voice acting. The voice acting was a bit cheesy if you ask me, but in a way it fits the charm of the game perfectly. Personally, I could take or leave that part, but the biggest downside of the remastered version to me is the visuals. What were once beautiful sprites became washed out figures with blurry edges, and it just doesn't translate well. I love the widescreen view, but I would still rather take in the graphics offered by the original version. This might not be as big of a deal breaker for others, but I just don't like the filter they applied. Overall, Grandia is a wonderful experience for any RPG fan. It's a happy-go-lucky, optimistic game that exemplifies almost everything great in RPGs. Interesting characters and story, extremely unique combat, a thoughtful advancement system, and a solid soundtrack make this the complete package. For a 25-year-old game, it's also visually impressive. It's a true gem of the 32-bit RPG era and still gets overlooked compared to many other games. If you played Grandia, leave me a comment below and let me know what you remember most about the game. Do you have any crazy or fun or interesting nostalgic stories from it? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell for more retro gaming content, and please join my Discord community linked in the description. Also, please consider supporting my channel via YouTube's Join feature to receive member exclusives, such as advanced videos and complete video transcripts.